The Alaska Highway, once merely a stretch of pavement connecting the continental United States to its northernmost frontier, has come to symbolize far more than mere geography. It is a vital artery, an economic lifeline that channels goods, resources, and people between Alaska and the rest of the nation. Yet today, this emblem of cooperation has become a flashpoint in an escalating dispute between two long-standing allies, the United States and Canada. For decades, this highway stood as a silent witness to the harmonious interplay of American and Canadian interests. American trucks, heavy with goods destined for Alaskan markets, have long traveled through the Canadian province of British Columbia, their presence underscoring the deep interconnectedness of the two nations' economies. But that harmony has been fractured. Recent tensions have cast a long shadow over the spirit of partnership, threatening not only trade but the very fabric of diplomatic trust. At the heart of this discord lies a wave of tariffs introduced during the Trump administration, a period marked by an assertive protectionist agenda. Seeking to prioritize American industries, the administration imposed sweeping tariffs on a range of Canadian imports, including steel, aluminum, and lumber, commodities essential to both nations. These measures, framed as a defense of American labor and industry against perceived unfair competition, ignited a trade conflict that reverberated swiftly across the border. Canada, blindsided by what it deemed an unjust and harmful economic blow, denounced the tariffs as both damaging and short-sighted. Officials in Ottawa warned of the long-term consequences such policies would unleash, not only for Canadian businesses and workers, but also for American consumers who depend on Canadian goods in nearly every sector, from raw materials to finished products. In their view, these tariffs undermine the mutual trust in economic symbiosis upon which the North American partnership had been built. Still, the Trump administration held firm. Officials maintained that the tariffs were necessary to correct long-standing trade imbalances and to ensure a level playing field. They viewed the move not as an act of hostility, but one of national self-preservation. In response, Canada explored various diplomatic and economic countermeasures. But it was British Columbia, a province with deep trade ties to the U.S., that made the boldest move. In a stunning display of defiance, the provincial government announced the imposition of tolls on American commercial vehicles using the Alaska Highway. These tolls, aimed exclusively at U.S. freight carriers, were designed to offset the damage caused by the tariffs and protect British Columbian industries and workers from economic fallout. Premier David Yai of British Columbia did not mince words. "We cannot stand idly by while our businesses are under siege," he declared. The tolls, he emphasized, were not merely punitive. They were a strategic response to economic aggression, a means of shielding the provincial economy from further harm. Revenue from these tolls, the government explained, would be directed toward supporting affected industries and cushioning the blow for local workers. Yet the move carried more than financial implications. It was also a powerful political statement. British Columbia was prepared to defend its interests, even at the risk of straining ties with its powerful neighbor. The consequences were swift and sobering. In Alaska, where businesses rely heavily on the uninterrupted flow of goods from the continental U.S. via Canada, the tolls introduced a new and costly barrier. Mark Johnson, a grocery store owner in Anchorage, voiced what many in the state were feeling. "These tolls are a punch in the gut. We depend on that highway. Prices will go up, and it's the consumers who will suffer." Indeed, the tolls introduce a new layer of complexity to already fragile supply chains, threatening higher costs and potential delays. For Alaskan residents and businesses alike, the ripple effects were immediate and unsettling. Beyond the economic consequences, the tolls have inflamed diplomatic tensions. What was once a seamless corridor of cooperation is now a contested ground, marked by suspicion and growing resentment. The underlying tensions reveal deeper rifts, disagreements not only about trade policy, but about national identity, sovereignty, and the rules of a rapidly changing global order. Prime Minister Justin Trudeau has reiterated Canada's commitment to diplomacy and fair trade, while firmly asserting the nation's right to defend its economy. "We believe in free and fair trade," he stated, "but we will always stand up for our workers and our industries." While the tolls were a provincial measure, their implications have reverberated throughout the federal landscape and beyond. They have stirred anti-American sentiment among segments of the Canadian public, sparked protests, and added yet another layer to an already complex and fragile relationship. As the dispute unfolds, it has become more than a battle over tariffs or tolls. It is a test of resilience, diplomacy, and the enduring value of cooperation. The Alaska Highway, once a quiet symbol of unity, now stands at the crossroads of contention. Its future and that of the broader Canada-U.S. partnership remains uncertain. But one thing is clear. In a world increasingly defined by economic nationalism and geopolitical rivalries, even the roads that bind us together can become lines of division.